The latest shakeup within the Trump administration leaves National Security Advisor John Bolton out of a job. Bolton says he handed in his resignation yesterday. The president says he asked Bolton to leave because they did not agree on key issues. Sources tell our Major Garrett the breaking point was the president's belief that Bolton or those close to him leaked a story claiming that Mr. Trump suggested using nuclear weapons to stop a hurricane. Bolton was President Trump's third national security advisor.
General Michael Flynn lasted just 24 days. From January to February of 2017, Flynn was fired after lying to Vice President Mike Pence about contacts with Russia's ambassador to the U.S. Next was General H.R. McMaster. He was appointed in February of 2017 and stepped down in April of 2018. Bolton had the job the longest, serving from April of last year until yesterday. CBS News senior national security analyst Fran Townsend is with us. She was Homeland Security advisor during the George W. Bush administration and worked with Bolton. Good morning, Fran.
Good morning.
Having worked with Mr. Bolton in the Bush White House, what do you think happened here exactly?
You know, look, I do think John resigned. We've now, one of Axios reported this morning an actual tick-tock of the timeline. And so, but I don't really think it matters, right? What does matter is there's no, since the position was established, no president has run through three and now going on his fourth national security advisor in 3 years. And so if you're thinking about taking that job, you might take note of that.
What does that suggest about policy at the White House?
I don't think, look, the policy that's driven at the White House is a function of the president, not of the national security advisor. And so the more important issue to me is there's no disciplined policy process. If you're going into that job, you want to know that you're going to run a policy process that brings in differing point of views. Differences of opinion are not a bad thing in the White House.
But the message here is if you disagree with the president, you're out.
Yeah, I mean,
or it seems to be.
It does seem to be. And I will tell you, look, John is a very principled guy. President Trump knew what he was getting when he hired John Bolton. And I think John Bolton understood from the beginning that if they had policy differences, he was going to go.
Could so much turnover in this key position affect our security as Americans?
I don't think so. Look, the good news here is that the agencies are going to go about their work. You've got a very strong Secretary of State in Mike Pompeo, who's enjoys a very good relationship with the president. And I think we ought to expect that the State Department and the Department of Defense are going to continue to go about their business.
What do you make of the fact, though, friend, that they're both trying to say, no, I fired you, no, I resign, no, I fired you, no, I resign? What does that say to you? What does that mean? You
know, Gayle, it's sort of more of the same, right? There's a bit of finger pointing. It's unfortunate because I think, you know, the president in his tweet did thank John for his service. And if that's all he had done, you would have treated him with dignity and respect. And I don't think we would have seen a John Bolton reply tweet, right? I think this is a distraction. This is sort of typical of a White House that just can't let it go. Let it go and move on.
Bolton and Secretary Pompeo reportedly clashed frequently in the Trump White House.
And I think Secretary Pompeo confirmed that yesterday. Look, it's okay, though, Anthony, that they can have disagreements as long as the sort of goals are the same. And I think they did share the same goal, for example, on Iran. There was actually a good deal of agreement. Oftentimes there's disagreements in the policy process on tactics. And again, as I'd say to you, that's a good thing for the president because he ought to get a fulsome view and understand what the disagreements, the pros and cons are. But as Gayle points out, it doesn't seem like that's what this president wants.
Well,
and he's entitled to have it what he wants.
Yesterday, the president gets to choose who he wants on his team. That's also true.
That's exactly right. And he gets to choose the process by which it gets run, how his White House gets run. And so that's really up to the president.
All right, Fran, thank you. We shall see who the president picks. We'll have you back to talk about that.
Are you interested?
No.
There's an opening.
Not available.
You know the jobs.
Plenty busy.